What if your hobby could make you $2,000 a month? Not someday, starting in the next few months. I'm showing you 7 hobbies that real people over 40 are turning into real income. These aren't side hustles that feel like work. These are true hobbies that involve work that feels like play. You'd be doing them anyway, even if you weren't earning money. First up, woodworking. If you like working with your hands, creating functional or beautiful things from wood, this is one of the most scalable hobbies that pays. Here's why it works. People will always need custom furniture, home decor, cutting boards, shelves, and unique pieces for their homes. The demand will always be there, and handmade, quality woodworking commands premium prices because it's not mass produced. You don't need a giant workshop to start. A garage shed works fine. Basic tools get you going, and you can start small like cutting boards, picture frames, small shelves, and scale up as you build skills and as your demand grows. Where do you sell these items? Well, you can sell them in local craft fairs, on Etsy, at farmers markets, Facebook Marketplace, or even local consignment shops. Once you build a reputation, word of mouth takes over. Here's a real example. I know a retiree who started making custom cutting boards in his garage. He charges $75 to $150 per board, and he makes about $10 to $15 a month and brings in $1,000 to $1,500 a month. He loves it. He says it's meditative, and people love buying handmade items with a story behind them. The income potential? $500 to $3,000 per month, depending on what you make and how much you want to work. The key, start with something simple, get good at it, build a portfolio, and let demand guide what you create next. Here's another hobby, gardening, specifically growing and selling heirloom seeds, starter plants, or specialty produce. If you love gardening, you're already doing the work. Why not make money from it? Here's how this works. Heirloom seeds are in demand. People want non-GMO, organic, unique varieties that you can't find at big box stores. If you grow heirloom tomatoes, peppers, herbs, or flowers, you can harvest the seeds, package them, and sell them online or at farmers markets. Starter plants are another option. People will pay $3 to $5 for a healthy tomato or herb plant in the spring. If you have a greenhouse or a sunny window, you can start dozens or hundreds of plants and sell them locally. Specialty produce is the third angle. Microgreens, edible flowers, gourmet mushrooms, or unique vegetables that restaurants or health-conscious consumers want. You're not competing with industrial farms. Here's a real example. I follow a woman online who grows heirloom tomato plants every spring. She sells 200 to 300 plants at $4 each through Facebook and local farmers markets. That's $800 to $1,200 every spring for doing something she loves. Here's another example. A retiree grows microgreens in his basement. He sells them to local restaurants and at weekly farmers markets. He makes about $600 to $800 a month, loves the rhythm of it. The income potential, $300 to $1,500 per month, depending on scale and what you grow. The key, focus on something unique or high value. Don't compete with Lowe's or generic plants. Offer what they cannot offer. Here's a third hobby, and I'm using the word hobby loosely here. Consulting. If you spent 20, 30, or 40 years building expertise in a field, that knowledge is valuable. Companies, small businesses, and individuals will pay you to solve problems, guide strategy, or train their teams. Here's why consulting works so well in retirement. You control your schedule. Take on as much or as little work as you want. Work from home. Set your rates. No boss, no commute. You already have credibility. You don't need to build authority from scratch. Your decades of experience speak for itself. The demand is real. Small businesses especially need experienced guidance, but can't afford a full-time employee. That's where you come in. What can you consult on? Anything you know deeply. Project management, HR, marketing, operations, finance, IT, sales, whatever your background is. Here's a real example. A retired project manager I know does freelance consulting for small businesses. She helps them set up systems, manage complex projects, and train their teams. She works about 10 to 15 hours a week and makes $2,000 to $3,000 a month. She says it keeps her sharp and engaged without the stress of a full-time job. And here's another example. A former engineer consults on energy efficiency for commercial buildings. He works maybe 20 hours a month and makes $4,000 to $5,000 each month on his terms when he wants. The income potential, $1,000 to $5,000 per month, depending on your field and your availability. The key, start by reaching out to your existing network. Let people know you're available for project-based work. You'll be surprised how quickly opportunities appear. Here's a fourth hobby, teaching and tutoring. If you have expertise in anything, languages, music, academics, crafts, cooking, fitness, people will pay you to teach them. Here's why this works so beautifully in retirement. You already know your subject. You're not starting from scratch. You're leveraging decades of knowledge or a skill you've mastered. It's flexible. Teach online from home via Zoom or meet students locally. You choose your hours, your rates, and how many students you take on. The demand is constant. Parents need tutors for their kids. Adults want to learn new skills. Professionals need coaching. The market is always there and always will be. What can you teach? Academic subjects like math, science, reading, languages, music lessons, cooking classes, art instruction, fitness coaching, craft workshops, literally anything you are good at. Here's a real example. A retired math teacher tutors high school students online. She charges $50 per hour and works 10 to 15 hours a week and makes between $2,000 and $3,000 a month. She sets her own schedule and works from her home office. Here's another example. A woman who's fluent in Spanish teaches conversational Spanish to adults via Zoom. My daughter did this. She charges $35 per hour, teaches 12 to 15 hours a week, and makes about $1,800 a month. She loves connecting with students and says it keeps her mind sharp. Here's one more. A retired chef teaches monthly cooking classes in her home. 6 students per class, $65 per person. 2 classes a month brings in $780 a month. Minimal work, tons of fun, and she gets to share her passion. The income potential, $800 to $3,000 a month, depending on your subject, rates, and availability. The key, start by identifying what you know that others want to learn. Then decide if you want to teach online for broader reach or locally for a more personal situation. Platforms like Wisant, OutSchool, or even just posting on local Facebook groups can get you started immediately. Here's the fifth hobby, writing and content creation. If you like writing, storytelling, or sharing knowledge, there are multiple ways to turn that into income. For freelance writing, websites, blogs, and businesses need content. If you can write clearly and research well, you can freelance. The pay ranges from $50 to $500 per article, depending on the client and the topic. There's always self-publishing. You could write a book, a guide, or course on something you know well. Publish it on Amazon, Gumroad, or your own website. It takes upfront work, but once it's done, it can generate passive income for years to come. There's also blogging and newsletters. You build an audience around a topic that you care about, and you monetize it through affiliate marketing, sponsorships, or paid subscriptions. This is a longer game, but can be incredibly rewarding. Here's a real example for you. A retired teacher started a blog about budget travel for retirees. She writes about destinations, tips, and strategies. She monetizes through affiliate links from hotels, tours, travel gear, and she makes about $800 to $1,200 a month. It took her about a year to build it up, but now it's steady income doing something she truly loves. Here's another example. A former HR professional wrote a short guide on navigating workplace conflict. He self-published it on Amazon, and he makes $200 to $300 a month in passive income. Small, but it required maybe 40 hours of work total, and now it just generates while he does other things. The income potential, $200 to $2,000 per month, depending on the format and your commitment. The key, pick a niche you know well, provide real value, and be consistent. Hobby number 6, photography. If you love taking photos and you have a decent camera, even a good smartphone works these days, you can turn this into a real income stream. Here's why photography works. Everyone needs photos. Families want portraits. Small businesses need product shots. Real estate agents need property photos. Event organizers need coverage. The demand is everywhere. You can specialize or stay general. Portrait photography, event photography, real estate, product photography for small businesses, stock photography. You can pick what interests you. Photography has a low startup cost if you already have equipment, a decent camera, some basic editing software, and you're in business. It gets you out of the house. If you love being active and meeting people, this hobby keeps you engaged and social. Where do you find work in photography? Well, local Facebook groups, Nextdoor, word of mouth, or platforms like Thumbtack. Once you do a few jobs well, referrals will take over. Here's a real example. A retiree started doing real estate photography in his area. He charges $150 to $200 per property. He shoots 8 to 10 properties a month and makes $1,200 to $2,000. It takes him about 2 to 3 hours per property, including editing. He loves getting out, seeing different homes, and the creative challenge really lights him up. And another example, a woman does family portrait sessions on the weekends. She charges $250 to $400 per session. She does 4 to 6 sessions a month and brings in $1,000 to $2,400. She says it's joyful work, capturing important family moments. And what about the stock photography option? If you don't want to deal with clients, shoot high-quality photos and sell them on stock sites like Shutterstock or Adobe Stock. It's passive income. It takes time to build a portfolio, but once it's there, it generates money while you sleep. The income potential, $500 to $2,500 per month, depending on your niche and how much you work. The key, start by offering discounted or free sessions to friends and family to build a portfolio. Then use photos to market yourself locally. Word of mouth is your best friend in photography. And finally, the 7th hobby, my favorite, YouTube. Yes, this is what I'm doing, and I'm including it because it checks every box for an ideal income hobby for me. Here's why YouTube works. You can talk about literally anything you know or love. Gardening, cooking, woodworking, travel, finances, whatever hobbies you're into. Life advice. If you have knowledge or perspective, there's an audience for it. There are multiple income streams available to you. There's AdSense ad revenue that YouTube pays you, affiliate marketing, sponsorships, digital products, memberships. You're not dependent on one source of income. It's creative and engaging. You're learning new skills like video editing, storytelling, communication. Graphic design, it keeps your brain sharp. You build an audience and then people get to know you and trust you and want to support you. That's powerful. It's incredibly flexible. You work on your schedule. No boss, no commute, just you, a camera, and your ideas. You can even travel and do your videos wherever you are in the world. Here's a real example. A woman in her 60s started a YouTube channel about downsizing and minimalist living. 2 years in, she's making $2,000 to $3,000 a month from AdSense, affiliates, and a small membership community. She loves it. She says it gives her purpose and income. And another example, a retired chef started a channel teaching simple, healthy meals for 1 or 2 people. He's at $1,500 a month after 18 months. Not life-changing money, but meaningful. And he's doing something he loves. My own example, I'm documenting my journey to build this channel into a $3,000 to $5,000 per month income stream with multiple income streams involved. I'm sharing what works and what doesn't and the lessons along the way. It's purpose for me, creativity, and income all in one. The income potential, $500 to $5,000 per month, depending on your niche, your consistency, and your monetization strategy. The key is to start before you're ready. Don't wait for perfect equipment or the perfect idea. Just start and improve as you go. So there you have it, 7 hobbies that actually pay. Here's the thread that connects all of these. They don't feel like work. They're things you do anyway because you enjoy them. The income is the bonus. And that's the whole point. Retirement doesn't have to mean stopping. It means choosing. Choosing what you do, when you do it, and how much you want to engage. An income hobby gives you purpose, keeps you engaged, and generates money that helps with inflation, funds the extras, or just gives you peace of mind. You don't need all 7 or even 2. You just need one that fits you and your lifestyle. So here's my challenge to you. Pick one hobby from this list that resonates with you, or think of your own. Ask yourself, could I see myself doing this regularly and enjoying it? Then take one tiny step this week. Research it, watch a tutorial, reach out to someone who's already doing it. Buy the first tool or set up the account. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start. Drop a comment and tell me what hobby you're leaning toward, or if you already are doing one of these or a hobby I didn't mention. There are so many to choose from. Share your experience. How's it going? What have you learned? I read every comment and I want to learn from you just as much as I hope you're learning from me. If you want to follow my journey building YouTube as my income hobby, please subscribe to this channel. I'm publishing videos every week on growing a channel, generating income, and finding purpose in this next chapter. I share my actual numbers and my mistakes and my wins, and YouTube tactics to grow your channel, and other advice, all via my email newsletter. You can subscribe to the newsletter via the link below. Work in retirement doesn't have to feel like a job. It can feel like play. That's the magic of an income hobby. Go out and find yours and take that first step. See you in the next one.